Hello to Preston Aikido Club, Aikidoka. Bet you didn't expect to see me so soon. I thought I'd put together a few little videos to try and help make use of these strange times that we've got at the moment, also keep a little bit of connection with the club. Mainly I'm going to focus on the weapons practice, because there's quite a lot of set and formal movements that would be useful to spend some time learning, so that when we come back to the class, at least the sequence of movements will be familiar, so we can spend more time concentrating on the purpose, the emphasis, the intensity, rather than the specifics of the movement. I'm probably going to run through mainly the Kumitachi and Kumijo, the partner practice. We've done a lot already of the Saburi, the basic movements. The partner practice obviously going to be relatively difficult to practice by yourself. I'd recommend you look at Saito Sensei's YouTube videos where he runs through them all with a partner. I'm intending this to sort of go along with that, to emphasise what I see as being key aspects, and particularly so you don't end up practicing one side or the other of a dance. You still think of it, try and visualise your partner, visualise the intensity and the blending and the working together that you get with your partner practice. So I'll demonstrate either side of the movement in turn, and then I'll explain a couple of key things that you probably want to think about as you're practicing. So I'm going to start with Kumitachi number 1, Ken Kumitachi, and I'm going to start with the role of the aggressor, so the person who makes the first cut and the person who finishes the movement, makes the final cut. So I'll run through it once and then I'll explain some of the things to think about as you're doing it. Okay, so the first part of that, the attacker wants to make showman. He wants to attack with a showman cut, but his partner responds by thrusting with his sword, which makes the attacker have to abandon his attack. He has to change his plans. So the tricky bit with this is, try not to think of it as a shortened cut from the outset. I'm not thinking of this movement. I start with the intention of making a full showman, and then my plans change. So I have to imagine, I have to visualise my partner waiting for me to make the showman and then responding, and his movement pushing me back. His movement is what causes me to reject my attack. Commit to the showman, reject the showman. Okay. Then after that, there are 2 more showmans. The first one is just to receive the attack, and you have to visualise that as maintaining your melee. So you want to maintain the same distance from your opponent, because he now becomes the aggressor. You're trying to protect yourself. And then the final showman is when you allow him to close the distance slightly, so you can make the final cut into his centre. So again, through. And all the time you feel that following your first attack, it's your imaginary partner's movements that cause your next movement. You're not just doing it in your time. You've got to remember you have to wait until your partner responds, and then you respond to that. So that's the tricky bit of training these things on your own, is the response to your partner's attacks. So now look at the other side. So now I'm the person receiving the attack and reacting to it. Okay, so the first movement is a thrust into the centre and a slice. So you're going into your opponent, maybe into his armour, and then slicing sideways. It's not a big wild swing, because as soon as I do that, I've completely exposed myself. I'm completely open. go in, side. One of the things with Kumitachi is always to try and stay engaged with your partner. You never want to be over here or your weapon away from your centre. The other thing is, remember you're blending with his first attack. So this time your imaginary partner is making a showman. You almost have to feel as if his sword is attached to yours, and as it goes up, it pulls your sword forward. That's what creates the first ski, and that's what creates the first movement. And then finally, it's 2 more showmen, both committed attacks, but the last one you have to react to the fact he's now closed down the distance and he's showman into your centre. So you have to take Ukemi, you have to absorb that attack. And these showmen, they blend from one to the other, but make sure your showmen come through the centre of your head, because they're following one from the next, like the 5th Saburi. It's very easy to get into the habit of bringing them over your shoulder. They must come over the centre of your head. So, showman, showman. Yeah. So I'll demonstrate that part of the Kumitachi one more time. Okay, so there you go. First Bokken Kumitachi.